Welcome back, Metalheads. I've got a fantastic album review for you right now for fans of Evergrey. This is the new Evergrey album, which is coming out on the 7th of June of this year. It's called The Theories of Emptiness. This is one of the best albums they've done, folks. As we all know, every album Evergrey has ever done is a fantastic album. They're very solid, lots of emotionals in the music and some fantastic vocals, but this album is brilliant. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the album very shortly. As we all know, Evergrey were formed back in 1983 in Gothenburg by guitarist and vocalist Thomas S Englund. Now, the band's debut album was released in 1988 called The Dark Discovery. This was released on GNW Records. And for a debut album, this is a pretty intense album and a very impressive release. This release would also feature members Tom S Lundgren on guitar and vocals. Back then, would have Dan Bromno on guitars, Daniel Jord on bass, would have Patrick Carlson on drums, and on keyboards for the debut album would be Will Kandra on keyboards. This was a great debut album of progressive dark metal. A lot of gothic elements in there, but a lot of progressive heaviness. The second album by the band would be called Solitude, Dominance and Tragedy in 1999. This was a brilliant follow-up, as we all know, folks, and this was released on Hall of Sermon Records. In 2001, the band released their next album. This is when the band signed to Inside Out Records. This would be called In Search of Truth. This was a fantastic follow-up to the band's last album. And since this album was recorded, the band started to find their own roots, their own identity. The band started to mature and write some really, really solid songs. Every album, like I said, by Evergrey has been fantastic. They've never done a bad album, even though they've had different lineup changes. They've constantly wrote solid, heavy, progressive albums with some fantastic vocals and harmonies. In total, the band have wrote and released 13 albums. The band's last album for Napalm Records was called The Heartless Portrait, The Orphan Testament, which is a fantastic album. Since the release of the new album, sadly, Jonas, the drummer, has left the band. He's been replaced by a new drummer who's called Simen Sandnes. It was a fantastic drummer. We've all watched a video of him on YouTube doing his audition. But Jonas is a fantastic drummer who's going to be sadly missed, as we all know. So, since the album has been recorded, the lineup that we have for the band right now is Tom S Lundgren on guitar and vocals. We'd have Henrik Gedard on guitars, a fantastic guitarist. We'd have Rikard Zander on keyboards, who's been with the band for many, many years. We'd have Jonas Niemann on bass guitar. Now, he was also involved with the band Man's Eye back in the day. And like I said, the new drummer, Simen, is a fantastic drummer. Now, this new album has a very interesting album cover, something different from what the band had done previous. However, never judge a book by its album cover. This album is a very solid, heavy album with some fantastic vocals and music. Some great harmonies there and some pretty mellow songs as well with some fantastic, interesting parts. But like I said, Evergrey are a dark, progressive power metal band that have been writing some unique and fantastic albums ever since the first album was released. Now, this new album was produced by Tom and Jonas, who've done a fantastic job. Very solid, very crisp and clean production. Now, the mixing of this album was handled by Adam Nolly Get Good, with the mastering handled by Thomas Johansson, who's worked with Soilwork, Flight Night Orchestra, Onslaught, and so many other artists. The overall production, like I say, folks, is fantastic. Now, this album contains 11 songs, so I'm going to tell you what the song titles are before I tell you about a little bit about the new album. We'd open up with Falling from the Sun, Misfortune, To Become Someone Else, Say, Ghost of My Hero, We Are the North, One Heart, The Night Within, Cold Dreams, Our Way Through, Silence, and the last song is the title track, The Theory of Emptiness. So that's the song titles. Now, the opening track, Falling from the Sun, is a fantastic opening track. Most of you out there must have seen the video on YouTube. How many fireworks did this band use for this promotional video? It's insane, as we all know. But the song is really powerful, very melodic in places, some great double bass drumming, fantastic guitar sound. Tom's vocals are really shining through on this song and throughout the album. Second song on the album is called Misfortune. This is a little bit more laid back from the debut song. However, it's very heavy in places, but very melodic. The thing about Evergrey is they're very dark, progressive heavy metal. which is cool. They stand out from a lot of bands. Kind of remind me a little bit of Withenfall, another dark progressive metal band. Now, there's one thing I have to definitely say about Evergrey's music. Both guitarists, Tom and Henrik, are fantastic musicians. They trade off very well together and write some fantastic guitar solos. And with Misfortune, the guitar solos on here are absolutely fantastic. Next song is called To Become Someone Else. This is a heavy song in places. However, halfway through the song, it does go to a dark keyboard sound, but it builds up again to a fantastic song. Tom's vocals are on top form as ever, as you can expect. Although this song isn't the heaviest song on the album, it's a really well thought out song. Like I said, it does mellow down halfway through the song with keyboards, but Tom's vocals are on top form. The music's pretty straightforward, but it's still a catchy tune. Next song is called Say. I'd have to say that this may have a slight hint of Dream Theater, but I also like the bass guitar here. Kind of reminds me of King's X, Doug Pinnick. It's a really well thought out song. It's not the heaviest song on the album. Next song, Ghost of My Hero, is the power ballad on the album. It's got some fantastic playing here with some fantastic vocals. The band also writes some fantastic ballads, as we all know. Real lot of emotion in their songs and feelings. And this song, Ghost of My Hero, is a fantastic song. If you do like Evergrey, I highly recommend this album. From what I've listened to the full album, I'm very impressed with it. Evergrey fans, you're not going to go wrong. Production's second to none. The music's fantastic with some catchy melodies and some great vocal performances by Tom. I'm going to give this album 5 out of 5 because it's a solid album with a fantastic production. Theories of Emptiness is a brilliant album, folks. It's released on Napalm Records on the 7th of June. Go and order the album now. You won't be disappointed. Leave some comments and let me know what you think of this fantastic album. Thanks for watching, Metalheads. Another album's coming soon.